I want to start by telling you something that I don't usually lead with. I am not a motivated person. And I don't mean that in a cute, like self-deprecating way. I mean it literally. I don't wake up excited to do hard things. I don't feel energized most mornings. And I don't have that like internal drive that people talk about when they just want to show up. I'm not that person. A lot of days, if I'm honest, I would really prefer to sit down and not be responsible for anything. Who's with me, right? And for a long time, that made me feel like something was wrong with me. Because from the outside, my life looked very consistent. And I used to feel like a fraud because of that disconnect, who I was projecting on the outside versus who I felt like on the inside. People would say things like, "You're so disciplined," or "I wish I had your motivation." And inside, I was thinking, if you knew how much I didn't feel like doing this most days, you would be shocked. What changed my life wasn't suddenly becoming motivated. It was realizing that motivation was never going to save me, and stopping that expectation that I was placing on myself was what I needed to do. That realization came from feeling exhausted. Not dramatic exhaustion, not quiet exhaustion, but the kind of tired that you get from just arguing with yourself all day and feeling like you're pretending or like you're a fraud. I felt that all the time. Before I had systems, my days felt like one long negotiation with myself, with my children, with my spouse, all day long. And while I can't control the people that I live with, I can control the negotiations that I was making with myself. I would wake up already tired, already feeling so behind in every area of my life, already thinking about what I should be doing. Should I move my body today? Should I deal with the things that I've been avoiding? Should it even matter if I skip a day? Every decision felt heavy, and it took up a lot of my brain space, of my bandwidth. And when I didn't follow through, I felt like I was disappointing everyone. Like every time I had to renegotiate with myself, it felt like something was wrong with me. That kind of mental friction that just continually wears you down. I didn't realize at that time that tired wasn't from doing, it was from deciding. It was from that mental negotiation, that mental gymnastics that I was doing every single day. I remember a very specific moment. I was getting ready to go on a bike ride. I had everything ready. I was in my biking clothes. I had put on my sunscreen. I had my water bottle, but I was tired. I hadn't slept well the night before. My body was sore, and I was already telling myself, like, just stay home. You do something else. You have plenty of other things to do, and that it wouldn't be a big deal. So what's the point? Then something clicked, and I realized I was already exhausted, and I hadn't even yet gone on my bike ride. The riding was hard, but it was the negotiating with myself about whether or not I should go on a bike ride that was even more exhausting than the actual bike ride. So I stopped negotiating. I didn't wake up and ask myself if I felt like going for a bike ride. The decision was already settled. That's what I was doing. My bike was ready, my route was planned, and I had very intentionally planned my route so that once I started moving, it was actually harder to quit than to keep going. This wasn't accidental. This was me actually finally admitting that I can't rely on how I feel in that specific moment. Once I removed that daily internal debate, something unexpected happened. The shame disappeared. I'm gonna say that again. The shame around making decisions and feeling like I was someone that I wasn't just disappeared. It wasn't, I failed today. It was just, today is today. Consistency became boring. And I don't mean boring is a bad thing. Boring is exactly what makes things last. My life is pretty boring. It looks the same most days. I have chunks of time where I'm doing specific things, but the decision has already been made. Money used to be the same way for me. Before I had a system, money felt emotional and heavy and confusing. Bills felt like constant accusations. Spending felt impulsive and full of shame. Avoiding it and putting my head in the sand felt easier than actually dealing with it. Every month felt like starting over already behind. Once decisions were made ahead of time, proactively, money stopped feeling like a test of my character, like if I was making the right choice about how to spend my money. This is why I talk so much about deciding once. Deciding once isn't about being better. It's not an elitist thing. It's about being less exhausted. It's about deciding once and not renegotiating with yourself about the same thing over and over and over. It's about removing that shame that comes from making decisions over and over again and the fatigue. It's about removing the daily arguments that zap your energy and taking that energy so that you can actually live your life. If that's resonating with you, you can download my free guide, Decide Once. Just click the link below. Motivation is unreliable. If your life requires you to feel good to actually function, it will fall apart. We all know this. That's not pessimistic. It's just compassionate realism. It's just acknowledging the reality of our actual lives. If you're telling yourself, I just need to want it more, I just need that motivation to come, I just need to feel like it, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You're just tired, and you've built a life that's expecting too much of you. That can change. If you want to remove decision fatigue, I invite you to download Decide Once. You can click the link below. It will help walk you through how I decide once and remove the negotiation. It can work for you too.